October 2023 won't be remembered for golden light or crisp leaves, but for a relentless, suffocating grey. The UK felt smothered under a damp blanket, the sun hidden, autumn's colours dulled. Mornings and afternoons blurred together, the sky barely brightening beyond a stubborn twilight. Each day began with resignation, not energy. The Met Office confirmed it, the cloudiest October in nearly 60 years. Conversations everywhere circled back to the missing sun, a shared complaint, a national mood. Autumn's usual joys vanished. Even the leaves looked muted. Parks felt melancholic. The air was heavy, thick with moisture, never quite rain, just a constant chill. Lights flicked on by mid-afternoon became routine. There were no dramatic storms, just the absence of light. A quiet, insidious gloom. Days dragged, each one a copy of the last, people longing for any change. The month felt like a long, slow exhale, a pause in the seasons, leaving everyone waiting for something to break the spell. October became a lesson in monotony, a nation united under a sky that refused to lift. The culprit? The jet stream, stuck in a rut, funneled low-pressure systems and endless cloud over the UK. Moist Atlantic winds brought damp air, which cooled and condensed into thick, stubborn clouds. High-pressure systems that usually bring sun were blocked, leaving no break in the gloom. It was a perfect storm of atmospheric conditions, turning the sky into a solid, unbroken lid. The endless grey seeped into daily life. Commutes were dim and dreary. Headlights needed long after dawn. Outdoor plans faded. Parks and playgrounds emptied. Walks lost their colour. Indoors, lights burned all day. Electricity bills climbed. And homes felt claustrophobic. The lack of sunlight dulled moods, fueling lethargy and talk of seasonal affective disorder. Social life retreated inside. Cafes filled. But conversation always circled back to the weather. The sun's absence changed not just what we did, but how we felt. The nation's spirit dimmed, mirroring the sky. Nature too felt the gloom. Plants struggled with less light. Autumn colours faded to browns and murky oranges. Birds and animals had less time to forage, their routines compressed by the short, dim days. Insects needing sun to fly were scarce, impacting pollination and the food web. The damp, sunless days favoured slugs and snails, while fungi flourished, erupting across forests and fields. Foragers found bounty in mushrooms, one of the few bright spots in a muted landscape. The entire ecosystem shifted, adapting to the absence of sunlight. Even the usual hum of autumn life was quieter. Nature, like people, waited for the light to return. My neighbour Arthur, a lifelong gardener, felt the season's disruption deeply. "It's the light," he said, surveying his struggling crops. "Nothing's happy." His cabbages failed, beans yellowed, and the ground stayed sodden, impossible to work. "Normally, you get a few dry days to turn the soil. This year it's just wet, wet, wet." Planting garlic felt pointless. "It'll just rot," he sighed. The weather had thrown his routine into chaos. Too damp to dig, too dark to weed, too miserable to linger. "A storm passes. This just drags on," he muttered, staring at the unbroken grey. For Arthur, the monotony was worse than any storm. The absence of light was a personal challenge, a disruption of the rhythm he'd trusted for decades. His words echoed the nation's mood, not battered by drama, but worn down by endless sameness. The weather had put life on hold. Even the most seasoned gardeners felt adrift. The longing for change was universal. November arrived, but the gloom lingered. The jet stream held its course, keeping the UK under a wet, heavy sky. Fields and footpaths turned to mud, farmers fell behind, and the economic toll grew. Public frustration deepened. The novelty of complaining faded into real weariness. Short days felt even shorter, and talk of sad lamps spread as people sought artificial light. The landscape grew starker, bare trees, endless grey, and a mood that darkened with the sky. October's legacy was a burden November couldn't shake. The nation waited, hoping for a break in the clouds. Then, suddenly, the weather changed. The jet stream shifted, and high pressure from Scandinavia swept in. The grey vanished, replaced by clear blue skies and biting cold. For the first time in weeks, the sun returned, low, bright, and dazzling. People emerged, blinking in the light, spirits lifted by the change. But the gift of sun brought hard frosts. Mornings were icy, pavements slick. Gardeners now worried about frost instead of rot, and wildlife scrambled to adapt. The UK traded gloom for crisp, freezing days. The shock was real, but so was the relief. November finally found its own frosty identity. Susan, a daily dog walker on Formby Beach, saw it all firsthand. October was just grey, she said. Sea and sky merged. No horizon. It felt like walking in a box. The world was muffled. Sounds, smells, even the gulls seemed subdued. The flat light made everything look dull and lifeless. Then, in November, everything changed. It was like a switch flipped. The sky turned blue, the air was sharp, and the sun made everything sparkle. The horizon reappeared. The world snapped back into focus. Susan preferred the cold. It feels clean, alive. That grey felt like decay. This is hopeful. Her dog ran further. The world felt bigger, and her walks became joyful again. The weather's shift transformed her daily routine from a chore to a celebration. The sun, even without warmth, lifted spirits. The landscape felt renewed. The return of light changed everything. The journey from October's gloom to November's brightness is a lesson in British resilience. Our moods, routines, and even economy are shaped by the sky. The cloudiest October in 60 years tested our patience and reminded us how much we need sunlight. It's a glimpse of a future with more extreme, persistent weather, a challenge of climate change. Yet, we adapt, switching on lights, sharing complaints, finding comfort in small joys. The return of the sun was sweeter for the wait, teaching us not to take clear skies for granted. The weather binds us, shapes us, and reminds us of our place on this unpredictable island. In learning to endure, we find strength and a renewed appreciation for every rare sunny day.